Clearly, we're experiencing a financial meltdown, the likes of which we've not seen in modern history. And while it's getting tiresome and annoying to hear the Great Depression invoked hour by hour, and we're not in a Great Depression, it is true that we've not had this kind of meltdown, at least on the financial side, since that period. Now, a financial meltdown is not the same thing as an economic meltdown and a depression. These are different things. The financial meltdown involves the loss of wealth in the stock market, the loss of wealth in housing, and the consequent generalized crisis in the financial institutions. The economic crisis is jobs, income, well-being, access to health care, ability of people to clothe and shelter and feed themselves and educate their children. And those are related, but those are different things. So we can have a financial meltdown and not have an economic meltdown. We can't have a financial meltdown without having a recession, which is the modest version of a downturn, and we're going to have a serious recession because that's already well in train, and it's going to get worse for many months to come. This will be a miserable year by any count economically, and it could be a miserable 2 or 3 years by any count. But there's a big difference between a miserable year and a Great Depression, and I believe we can really avoid the worst if we keep our heads on straight. The big problem is that during crises we tend to make big mistakes, so it is also a time of threat, not because of automatic linkages from the financial crisis to the real economy, but because a financial crisis provokes, and the recession that goes along with it provokes a lot of possibilities for error. And those errors can turn into conflict, which is what history shows. They can certainly turn into political paralysis. And those are our big risks, not the per se economic collapse underway, but the mistakes we might make as a society or internationally as we confront this short-term crisis, because it would be the mistakes that turn this into something far costlier. And so it's understanding what we need to do to avoid the mistakes that perhaps are the most important lessons of the short term.